I could see it in his eyes the moment we met. It was like looking in a mirror. He never questioned that one day he'd be Batman. He's as strong as he is stubborn, and there's no doubt in my mind that Damian can take care of himself. Today on the Comic Book Report, Robin The Lazarus Tournament. Stick around and check it out. Greetings from the Batcave, everyone. My name is Dominic, and you're tuning in to the Comic Book Report, where we review comic books and graphic novels so you can get an idea of what to read. Today we're doing Joshua Williamson's Robin, and I cannot wait to talk about this little gem. But before we do, here are some quick facts about today's collection. Robin, The Lazarus Tournament was written by Joshua Williamson and illustrated by Gleb Melnikov and Jorge Corona. The issues in this collection were first published by DC Comics in 2021. The volume itself collects Robin issues 1 through 6, and this standard size trade paperback comes in at 184 pages. At this time, I'd like to issue a general spoiler warning. I will be flipping through the entirety of today's collection as well as commenting on plot points. You've been advised. Alright, and here's our first look at Robin, The Lazarus Tournament, the trade paperback. This is a volume 1 of this current Robin run. Wow, I'm already getting pretty alliterative up in here. Anyway, as previously mentioned, this is a standard size trade paperback, and as with a lot of the DC collections I've been picking up these days, it is a matte paper, so it's not a glossy page. That being said, still a very good paper stock, no real complaints there. The binding appears to be glued, and there's not a ton of gutter loss from what I've seen. It's been pretty good on that end, at least by my reading. As we get ready to jump into the collection proper, a few notes I would just like to make about how I encountered this book. Now, I haven't read a ton of Joshua Williamson's catalog. I have read some of his Flash that he's done recently, and I kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite Flash run, at least what I've read, but what I have dabbled in, I have enjoyed. No real complaints there. And Robin, I always loved Batman, I love the Bat family, but it's rare that I'll go out and find a Robin solo book. That being said, I do really love Damian Wayne, but again, that wasn't enough to bait the hook for me. Why I found this collection was that people raved about this series from when it came out. Being someone who collects collected editions, sometimes I'm waiting for a while and I get to hear buzz on new series from the people that read the single issues. And this one seemed to kind of make its way to the top of the list, so that I knew when the trade paperback came out, this was one I wanted to pursue. And wow, was the buzz I heard not wrong. This is a wonderful start to a series. I have not read standalone Damian stuff. I've read, his introduction, and I've dabbled with a lot since then. But wow, this is powerful stuff, guys. This takes place right after the end of the Batman Rebirth Tom King era. Suffice it to say, Robin is pretty alienated from especially Batman, but even the rest of his Bat family, and he's trying to figure out who he is. He's trying to show his strength. He's trying to, at the beginning, almost ally himself back with his mom's side of the family. He's kind of mixed up and trying to find out who he is, and that's where this takes place. Before long, he discovers there's this tournament called the Lazarus Tournament that is this kind of dark, not really spoken about secret tournament of champions on this forbidden island. Damian gets himself on the list of fighters, and that's really what takes place across these issues here in the trade paperback. Parallel to the tournament itself, Damian's kind of trying to use his detective skills to uncover the deeper conspiracies about the nature of the tournament, just who's putting it on, and kind of what the repercussions of this tournament are. What's the end game? It's really a fascinating start to this run. The tournament seems to be, I would guess, maybe halfway over by the end of this volume. So we have a full story starting up here, but by the end it's still a little cliffhanger-y. I definitely want the volume 2. But it's a wonderful setup. This is, wow, just a really great Robin series. Taking a moment to talk about the art, I wasn't familiar with either of the artists on this book, but I'm very impressed with the quality of the art. It is a little more of the kind of cartoony style, I would say, but it has a lot of great, rich detail. The colorist on this is wonderful, and I was never really left wanting. You know, the art is very consistent throughout, the character models are very specific and well-formed, and I really liked the sense of motion and action, especially with a fighting tournament. I think it was just really well done. A lot of great facial expressiveness, which I always like. And generally, I would look out for these artists again. I liked their stuff here. It's really strong. Changing gears now. It's also fun to see a different perspective on Batman and the Bat family, you know, from the point of view character of Damian Wayne. It really gives a better reflection on some of the relationship dynamics. One of the particularly strong issues within this collection occurs when all of the other Robins, just about, and some of the other Bat family members go on a hunt trying to track Damian down. And they're all trying to capture him, bring him back home to Gotham. And it's a really powerful one because we get to see his relationships with all these other characters, particularly Dick Grayson, Nightwing. It's a really moving issue, and the more I know about the history of these characters, particularly the tenure of Batman and Robin with Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne respectively, it really flushes out that issue. It makes it very moving, impactful, and that was worth the cost of entry to this whole trade paperback alone, was that issue. One of my few major drawbacks on this run so far, and this collection specifically, is really just that I would have loved to have a collection that collected more issues. For those that might be waiting for a, deluxe hardcover later, maybe an omnibus, or at least until volume 2 is in print, I don't know that that's a bad idea. You don't want to slip on these collections in case those future ones never come, and it's great to, support these releases. But it's hard to get to the end of this and just dying to get to volume 2. I can't wait to finish this arc. But what we have here is a really strong start, and I love how they portrayed Damian Wayne. This trade paperback also really got me to care about some of these smaller secondary characters, some of which I believe were introduced in this volume, the characters of some of the other fighters. Some other characters I know have been around for a while in this book that I didn't know as well that I love. I love the character of Ravager in this. She is such a welcome addition to this series, and I'm eager to see how her role evolves throughout this run. It also makes me want to pick up, Teen Titans runs that she and Damian are in. If you've read any of those, let me know in the comments. I'd always love a recommendation. But yeah, some of these characters are just really great, and it's fun to see a lot of the people in this tournament being essentially sidekick characters. Anyway, you can see the collection ends with some of the cover art galleries and the character models. Always love seeing those extras, for sure. And overall, this collection has a recommendation from me. And now it's time, let's go ahead and give this bad boy a grade. With its colorful cast of characters, wonderfully consistent art, and its conspiracy, mystery, action, well-plotted story arc, The Comic Book Report is giving Robin The Lazarus Tournament a B+. This is a high recommendation from me. The only thing keeping me from giving it a full A treatment is the fact that I want to see how the full story ends. But for fans of The Dark Knight and some of the Bat family, this is a must-read. And for those that are just interested, or maybe not that much, I still would give a hard recommendation. It's good to find a fun, ongoing series. Have you read Robin The Lazarus Tournament? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Until next time, this has been The Comic Book Report. Thank you so much for stopping by. Go ahead and give me a subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed what you saw here today, and have a good one.